Hey there, Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies, and in about half an hour, I'm going to be doing my presenter evening here at Hollyhock, which means I'll be teaching like an hour and a half for the people who are at the workshop, but also plus anyone who lives on Cortez Island who wants to come by. So, um, yeah, so tonight I'm going to be talking about niching, and I had a conversation at dinner that I wanted to share. And there's a blog post you'll see tagged wherever the comment here is about kind of taglines, business names, and creating them in a way that really grabs people. One of the things that I noticed is that some of the business names or taglines that grabbed me the most were ones where there was a contrast. There was a sort of almost an oxymoron. Two things got put together that didn't seem to belong. For example, marketing for hippies. Marketing and hippies usually don't go together. ZenBitchSlap.com was one I really liked. Buddhist boot camp. You don't normally think of Buddhists doing a boot camp, putting that together. ChocolateForBreakfast.com was another one. There's a lot of these, and if you read the blog post, you'll see a bunch. And what I like about these is they seem to imply that there's a certain point of view behind it. Because you think, oh, you're taking those two things that shouldn't go together and you're putting them together, so that must mean you see something about the relationship between those two that I don't. And it has people kind of lean in and be curious on, well, how do you connect those? Whenever I say, people say, what do you do? And I say, I do marketing for hippies. I always invariably get a laugh. And people say, oh, that's an oxymoron, or well, they certainly need it, or those two don't seem to go together. But regardless, there's a kind of openness and a curiosity. And this came from a conversation at dinner where one of my colleagues was struggling with how to articulate what she does. Because on one hand, she's got a very sensible, down-to-earth, practical, conservative, nuts and bolts, no-nonsense approach to business. But on the other side, her whole business model is based on nature and the growth of plants and how nature works and building a business in that way. So that could be seen as maybe a little bit hippie or a little bit not businessy, And so as I was sitting there, I said, that's the thing I'm struck by is the contrast between this very practical nuts and bolts, we're going to build your business, and then nature, which doesn't seem to be about business at all. And so how do you put those two together? So something to think about with your business. Are there contrasting elements that you kind of find a way to put together that most people wouldn't put together or wouldn't see a relationship between? And can you weave that into your business name, into your tagline? So she might come up with something like no nonsense, practical, conservative business strategies based on nature or something. That's not that great, but you get the idea. So think about that with your business and see if you can push the polarity of that. See if you can push the extremes. So for example, instead of her saying it like, I don't know, practical business strategies based on nature, I might want to see, or I might want to see like a no nonsense business strategies from the natural world. Just try to say it with a little more oomph, a little more style behind it, because you can say the same thing in different ways, and it just will have more impact and get more curiosity, which is what you want when you say your business name or somebody says, what do you do? And you introduce yourself. Ideally, what you want is the people who are a fit for you to say, oh, wow, I'm curious, tell me more. Even people who aren't a fit to be curious so they can learn more, because maybe they'll refer somebody else. So this whole idea of oxymorons is something I'd invite you to play with. So that's it for now, and I'm going to go get ready to do my presentation.